How's it going, peeps? It is now time for the Elimination Chamber 2014 results / highlights and review video. Of course, I'll go over the results, some of the highlights in my opinion, and give you guys my thoughts, my review on the show. So of course it kicks off with a kickoff. The superstar panel this time was Mark Henry, The Miz, and Rey Mysterio. They would hype the matches, say which matches they're looking forward to, as well as some of their predictions. Now, you had a promo before any match, before the kickoff match. It was Zeb Colter actually hyping up Swagger and Antonio Cesaro, or Cesaro I should say, saying that tomorrow's going to be a great day with Cesaro as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion and Jack Swagger as the Intercontinental Champion. They say that sounds good, and that's one less hello instead of hola, this and that. And anyways, after that, they have the matchup, Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Ryback and Curtis Axel. And Curtis Axel actually came out with his grandfather, Larry The Axe Henning. And, you know, there were a few Curtis Axel chants. And I actually enjoyed, the kickoff match. I thought it was an entertaining matchup. Most of the match was dominated by Ryback and Axel. Towards the end, though, it was down to Cody and Curtis Axel. Cody Rhodes was going to go for Crossroads, but then Ryback came in to try and break it up and save his partner. But he gets tossed out of the ring. And then eventually Cody does hit the Crossroads on Curtis Axel, covers him, and wins the match. And after the match, there was no breakup or split up. There was no Goldust attacking Cody or Cody attacking Goldust. So it looks like the team is they're gonna remain a team for a while, or at least a little while longer. I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens afterwards. Anyways, after that, they go back to the superstar panels who talk about the matchup a bit more, and also the Usos cut a promo on how winning the tag team championships has been, their dream, and that tonight they've got 2 words for the New Age Outlaws when it comes to their tag team run or tag team title reign, and those 2 words are "it's over." Anyways, after that, it's the actual show, and the first match to kick it off is Big E Langston. I keep forgetting when Antonio Cesaro and Big E Langston that, there is no Langston or Cesaro. Langston or Antonio. Anyways, the match was actually good. It was a great match. It was really entertaining. You had a spot where, in the end, Jack Swagger was on the apron, and Big E Langston kind of hit a spear or a shoulder tackle, kind of like the one you see on WWE 2K14 when you shoulder tackle somebody when they're on the apron. Except Big E actually fell to the outside along with Jack Swagger, and right after that the crowd was chanting "Holy shit, holy shit." Also, at some point in the match, Jack Swagger went for the Swagger Bomb, but actually Big E Langston caught him into a big ending, but Swagger got out of it. And Jack Swagger also locked in the Patriot Lock twice in the matchup. Both times, Big E did not tap out. He got out of it. Actually, the second time around, he got out of the Patriot Lock by hitting an enziguri, by getting up and then hitting an enziguri on Jack Swagger with the other leg that Swagger wasn't grabbing for the Patriot Lock. And then he followed that up shortly after with the big ending. That won Big E the match. And something that was kind of surprising is the crowd, I'd say, was over or supporting Swagger over Big E Langston, actually. There was some "We the People" chants, but at the same time, there's always "We the People" chants nowadays. But I think I heard some boos, a few boos, not a lot of boos, but just a few boos maybe for Big E. I don't know why. And once the match was over, I did notice somebody in the crowd booing when Big E won, but it was like one person. Everybody else was cheering and clapping. So, yeah, it was a good matchup. And after that, you had an interview with Daniel Bryan, how he's not at 100%. He says, "Am I gonna get hurt tonight in the match? Is it gonna hurt? Yes." And then he also says, "But am I gonna give it my all and walk out the WWE World Heavyweight Champion?" And of course he says yes, and the crowd all chant yes, yes, yes along with him. And after that was the Tag Team Championship match. It was the New Age Outlaws versus the Usos. Oh yeah, and also something I forgot was that after the Big E Jack Swagger match, Bad News Barrett appeared, and he delivered some bad news about the Olympics and how the Russians are winning more gold medals. And then, when it comes to the Usos versus the New Age Outlaws won the matchup when one of the Usos, he was in the ring with Road Dogg. And then on the apron, Billy Gunn appeared on the apron to try and cause a distraction. And, oh no, my bad. He was in the ring with Billy Gunn. And on the apron was Road Dogg. And he super kicked Road Dogg off the apron. But because of that slight distraction, that allowed Billy Gunn to roll up the Uso and get the 3 count, win the match. After the match, Bad News Barrett appeared once again, and this time he delivered some bad news about how Daniel Bryan is not going to win the Elimination Chamber, and because of that, all these fans are going to turn on Daniel Bryan and the Yes movement will cease to exist. And then he says, to that, I say yes, yes, and he mocks the yes chant. Anyways, after that, they promoted the WWE Network. They promoted it a bunch of times during the show, but the next match was Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young. It was about maybe, if I would estimate it, maybe a 7-minute match, 6-minute match, something like that. And in the end, Titus O'Neil wins the match. Darren Young, though, did get, a lot of offense in, but in the end, Titus O'Neil won the matchup. Darren Young went for his finisher, the gut buster. I think he calls it the gut check, but Titus O'Neil got out of it, and then he hit a forearm to the back of Darren Young, and then he sent them to the ropes and followed that up with a Clash of Titus, which is his finisher, the Spinebuster finisher, covered him and won the match. So he beat Darren Young clean. There wasn't no cheating involved or anything like that. And after the match, guess who came out? Once again, it was Bad News Barrett. Bad News Barrett once again to deliver some bad news, this time about Hulk Hogan and his return, and how, despite Hogan returning, the spotlight won't be on Hogan. It's going to be on Wade Barrett, or Bad News Barrett, and that Hulk Hogan's going to be outshined by the charisma that Bad News Barrett displays. And then after that was an epic match. Can you guys guess what the match was? You probably know. It was the Wyatt family versus the Shield. Before the match, of course, they showed a video package. And man, this match was freaking awesome. It was a great match. Hey, it was better than what I expected from the match. Now, in case you're wondering if it was like a regular 6-man tag or a tornado, it was a regular 6-man tag. And we saw some impressive things during the matchup, lots of highlights. The match was full of highlights. And you had, at some points, even Luke Harper hit a dropkick, and he also went for a German suplex from the top turnbuckle on Seth Rollins, and I thought he was going to hit it, but Seth Rollins, I think at the last second, because I thought that he was going to connect with the German suplex, but Seth Rollins backflipped and landed on his feet, and then after that, he clotheslines Luke Harper out of the ring, hits the suicide dive, and also after that, he followed that up with his springboard knee. I love that move, and then he went for his finisher, and Luke Harper got out of the way, though. And Ambrose and Bray Wyatt during the match got into it a lot. You had Dean Ambrose try and take out Bray Wyatt. They used the announcer's table. I thought at first when Seth Rollins was taking down, the top of the announcer's table, that the Shield were maybe going to bring back the triple powerbomb. But instead, Bray Wyatt comes in, I think, and he attacks Seth Rollins. But then Ambrose comes in and he attacks Bray Wyatt. And then him and Bray Wyatt go into the crowd and start fighting. And then we don't see them for a while. So then on the outside, it's Eric Rowan and Luke Harper and Seth Rollins. And then Bray Wyatt comes back, and Ambrose is no longer there. We don't see Ambrose from then on. We don't see him for the rest of the match. And then Luke Harper, Eric Rowan put Seth Rollins on the top of the announcer's table. They get on it, and then they pick him up for a double choke slam, and double choke slam him from the regular announcer's table onto the Spanish announcer's table. And then after that, it was pretty much just Roman Reigns versus the entire Wyatt family. Because Ambrose was nowhere to be seen. Seth Rollins got taken out, obviously, through the announcer's table. And Reigns did pretty damn well by himself against the Wyatt family. Once they'd taken out Seth Rollins, Ambrose, they surround the ring, just like the Shield used to do, and still do. And they go inside the ring, and then they assault Reigns. Yeah, Reigns gets hit with a big boot, with a body splash, everything. And then it looks like it's about to be the end. Looks like Bray Wyatt is about to hit Sister Abigail on Reigns. He picks him up for Sister Abigail. It looks like he's going to hit it. But then Reigns starts powering out. He grabs Bray Wyatt's arms and pulls them apart. And Then Bray Wyatt's all like, what? And then he starts headbutting Reigns, but Reigns just rages even more. He takes out Bray Wyatt with Superman Punch. I think he also took out Eric Rowan, I think it was, with another Superman Punch. Luke Harper tried to charge Reigns, but Reigns threw him out of the ring. Then he also hit a Samoan drop on, it was either Bray Wyatt or Eric Rowan. Actually, I think the Samoan drop might have came before the Superman Punch. And then after that, he sets up for the spear on Bray Wyatt, since Bray Wyatt is the legal man. And then Luke Harper gets back in the ring, tries to attack Reigns, but Reigns spears him. And then right away, Bray Wyatt kind of hits Roman Reigns with a running cross body, takes him down instantly, and then picks him up quickly. First to Abigail, hits it this time, covers him, and the match is over. The Wyatt family win. Now, at some point in the match, I actually thought the Shield were going to win, surprisingly, because I thought the Wyatt were going to win for sure. But towards the end, I would say, in the matchup, you had, I think, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper were not on the apron anymore. They were on the outside. And Eric Rowan charged Roman Reigns in the corner, and Reigns ducked, and Reigns rolled up Eric Rowan. For some reason, I thought, that might be it, that he might get the 3 count there, but no. But as far as the match, guys, it was an awesome match. Great match. And if you didn't watch it, definitely catch a replay. But anyways, after that, Renee Young, she interviewed Christian about the Elimination Chamber match. I mean, what else would she interview him about? And he says, things haven't been looking good for him, or going his way. He's been, because she pointed out that everybody else beat Randy in non-title matches except for Christian. So Christian, talks about that and says, at the Elimination Chamber tonight, he's going to be, dangerous. He's going to be the most dangerous Christian anybody's ever seen. And in the end, I think he said he doubts anybody. Not doubts. He said, I dare anybody to say otherwise. And then after that, it was actually an unannounced matchup. It was AJ Lee versus Cameron. Now, I thought this match might take place, but then I was looking at the card. There was already 7 matches on the card. Well, actually 6 matches if you exclude the kickoff. And I was thinking maybe there would be no unannounced matchup, because the Elimination Chamber usually lasts almost an hour. But yeah, they had this matchup. And before the match, AJ cut a promo on how she's the longest reigning Divas champion. And she talked about how she's beaten every Diva, and actually Naomi would be a nice change of pace. But unfortunately, she got taken out. She got her, her eye injured. And then she didn't know who her opponent was, or she gave the impression that she didn't know who her opponent was. So she told her opponent to come out right now. And it was Cameron, so AJ Lee versus Cameron. And towards the end of this match, I think this might lead to something, a matchup, or maybe a feud. Tamina accidentally kicked AJ. She accidentally hit AJ, and because of that, Cameron was almost going to get the victory over AJ by covering her. But Tamina prevented that from happening and took out Cameron, and of course that caused a disqualification. Now, after the match, there was an awkward moment, or it was just silence, and Tamina grabs the Divas Championship. She goes in the ring where AJ's holding her nose, and AJ looks at Tamina gives her the championship, and AJ kind of snatches it away from her. She's mad, of course, that Tamina hit her, although it was by accident, and at the end of the day, Tamina did help AJ retain her championship. So anyways, after that, there was more Bad News Barrett delivering some bad news. This time, the bad news was about the WWE Network. He hypes it up and says, there's going to be all sorts of content. And because of that, people aren't going to be doing anything else. Adults are going to lose their jobs, this and that. It also says because of that, they're also going to forget to throw away the garbage, and their house is going to smell. But anyways, moving on after that, you had Santino, Emma, and El Torito promote the new toys. And then it was Batista versus Del Rio. And I actually thought at some point in this match, or before the match up, that the match might not take place. Because you see, when Batista, after Batista came out, actually, when Del Rio's entrance music played and he came out fully clothed, and he had the neck brace on, and he had a crutch. On top of that, it was like 9:50 p.m. or something like that. So I was thinking maybe they weren't going to have the match up because they were running out of time, maybe, for the Elimination Chamber. But then I was like, no, wait a minute, they could still have a match. And, we've seen superstars pull this trick before where, they pretend they're injured. So yeah, anyways, I was right about that. Del Rio gets in the ring, talks about how he can't compete because Batista put him through the announcer's table. And eventually, though, he just hits Batista with the crutch, as expected, since he has a crutch with him. He hits Batista a bunch of times with the crutch, takes off his clothes, and he's like dressed in the ring gear right under, and he keeps attacking Batista with the crutch. And then eventually Batista, the referee checks Batista and asks him if he wants to start the match, because Del Rio at that point was like, come on, ring the bell. So the ref asks Batista if he wants to start the match. And of course, Batista won't say no, since he is a face. So yeah, he starts the match up, and I was expecting right away Del Rio to charge Batista to take him down with a spine buster or a spear, follow that up with the Batista bomb, and that's it, and the match would end in 2 minutes or something like that. For some reason, that's what I pictured once I saw Del Rio, pretend to be injured and that he's not going to compete. But the match actually ended up being longer than I expected. And man, I was surprised the crowd was booing Batista the entire time. I thought maybe he'd get a mixed reaction, or against Del Rio, who's a heel, and he doesn't get cheered, but Del Rio doesn't get the biggest of reactions. I thought Batista would maybe get cheered, or, at worst get a mixed reaction against Del Rio, but no, he got booed. And the crowd was actually cheering for Del Rio when Del Rio would hit Batista a kick or a punch or whatever. Crowd would cheer. When Batista hits Del Rio, crowd would boo. So, crowd was not behind Batista. And they actually pointed that out on commentary, or they said the crowd was surprisingly behind Del Rio. And yeah, Del Rio, as predicted, Del Rio hit his super kick, and JBL mentioned that that's the kick that won him the world title. And also, from what I remember, Del Rio didn't even connect or lock on the cross arm breaker. He tried to do it, but Batista countered it. And at some point in the match also, the crowd was chanting CM Punk. Towards the end of the match, Batista hits a spear, and afterwards I think he hits a spine buster. Not right after the spear, but he hits a spine buster, prepares for the Batista bomb, hits it, and Batista did go for the Batista bomb at some point, and Del Rio countered it. But he went for another one, and that one Del Rio did not counter. So yeah, he covers Del Rio afterwards, wins the match. And after the match is over, during Batista's celebration, he tells the crowd to deal with it. Just like he told Randy to deal with it when he cut that promo a couple weeks back. I think after he won the Rumble. Or actually, I think it was before he won the Rumble. Yeah, I think it was the night he returned. Anyways, after that, they showed the Superstar panel where they gave their predictions on who they think is going to win the Elimination Chamber. And Rey Mysterio said he thinks Cesaro is going to win the match, but something Rey Mysterio said that, I noticed was incorrect is he pointed out that he thinks, this is Cesaro, or Cesaro is the only one in the chamber that's never been in a chamber match before, which is correct, that he's never been inside the Elimination Chamber, but he forgot that also Christian has never been inside an Elimination Chamber match too. Anyways, right after was the Elimination Chamber match. And in case you're wondering, right away, I'll let you know, Christian did not get replaced. He did not get attacked by Kane or Brock Lesnar or anybody else. Nobody took Christian's spot. Because there have been some rumors that, somebody was going to replace Christian. Most people thought it was going to be Brock Lesnar or Kane, but nobody did replace him. When he was making his entrance, I was, paying close attention to see if anybody was going to attack Christian from behind. Thankfully, nobody did, and Christian got to compete in the match. And not only did he compete, but he did pretty well. At least better than I thought he would. Now, if you're wondering about the entry numbers, who entered first, who entered last, this and that. First two guys to start the match were Cesaro and Sheamus. Number 3 was Daniel Bryan. I was actually expecting Daniel Bryan to be one of the first to, kind of further the storyline where the Authority is trying to, screw over Bryan, make him lose, and, put him in a spot where he can't win. But number 3 makes sense if he's not going to be starting the match. And then number 4 was Christian. Number 5 was John Cena. And then number 6 was obviously the remaining superstar, Randy. Now, going back to what I was saying about Christian doing better than I thought he'd do. I thought he was going to get eliminated first. And I think the majority of the people thought Christian would be the first to be eliminated. I mean, I don't blame anybody. I mean, I thought, that was going to happen too. I mean, look at how, he's been losing all these matches lately, and he's the only one that hasn't beat Randy. And he actually eliminated somebody. He eliminated Sheamus. He hit a frog splash from the top. He got the top rope move from the top, or it isn't a top rope move if it's at the top of the chamber, but he got the move from the top of the chamber spot in the matchup. He hit the frog splash from the top of the chamber onto Sheamus right after Randy hit a superplex onto Sheamus. That's when Christian hit the frog splash on Sheamus from the top and pinned Sheamus and eliminated him. Also, speaking of Randy, when Randy got in the matchup, he was attacking everybody. He attacked this guy, this guy, this guy. He stomped on this guy's leg. He kneed this guy's head. Pretty much attacked everybody. And then, once they all got up, they all look at Orton and, they're preparing to attack Randy. So then Randy's all like, I'm out this bitch. And then he gets out of the ring, goes inside the pod, locks himself back in. And, he taunts them saying that, oh, you can't get me now. So then everybody, goes on with their business and starts beating up somebody else. And they pay no attention to Randy, except for Sheamus. And of course, this is before Christian eliminated Sheamus. Sheamus stares down Randy while Randy's in the pod, and Randy continues to taunt him, telling him he can't get in, and then Sheamus just keeps on looking at Randy with like this mean stare or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but a stare basically. And then he walks, away, but you can see he's about to do something. He's about to do something. He's about to break in that pod. The question is, how's he going to do it? There's a number of ways, but he actually bro-kicked glass onto Randy's face. It was actually pretty funny, I thought. So he bro-kicked it. Randy was, because Randy was sounding him, and then he bro-kicks that right onto Randy's face, and then all of a sudden Randy's like sitting down, knocked out, and Sheamus grabs him, takes him out of the pod, and throws him around onto the steel, onto the fence. And that was one of the highlights. I mean, they did break a couple of pods, but the other ones, the impact wasn't as cool, or the way they broke the pod wasn't as cool as when Sheamus bro-kicked it into Randy's face. And also, Cesaro did do the Cesaro swing. He did it on Christian. And actually, did he do it on Christian? No, actually. Speaking of that, he tried to do it on Christian. And John Cena went for a crossbody. He hit a crossbody on Cesaro while Cesaro was grabbing Christian to prepare for the swing. And because of that, Cena takes down Cesaro with the crossbody. And Cesaro catapults Christian onto the turnbuckle, face first onto the turnbuckle. And also another cool spot in the match, John Cena had somebody in the Attitude Adjustment. I can't remember who it was exactly. It might have been Christian, actually. It was either Christian or Daniel Bryan. And Cesaro went behind Cena, grabbed him in a German suplex position, and hit the German suplex while Cena had either Daniel Bryan or Christian on his shoulders for the Attitude Adjustment. So he took both of them out, and eventually Cesaro got, after Sheamus, Cesaro I think was the second person to be eliminated. No, actually, forget that. Christian was the second one to be eliminated. Right after he eliminated, by the way, Christian did hit the kill switch in the matchup. He hit it on Daniel Bryan, actually. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this, because 90 to 95% of the time Christian goes for the kill switch, it gets countered. It's like the most reversible move in the history of the WWE. But hey, props to Christian. He connected with it when it counts. But he went to cover Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan kicked out. So, yeah. But anyways, right after he eliminated Sheamus, shortly after, Daniel Bryan hit the running high knee on Christian, pinned him, and eliminated him. So Christian's out after that. And then Cesaro was next when John Cena, he grabbed him for the attitude adjustment to the outside of the ring onto the steel. Cesaro was holding on for a bit, and I thought maybe he would counter it or something like that, but he didn't, and John Cena eventually ends up hitting it, and then he brings Cesaro back in the ring, covers him, and wins, or eliminates Cesaro. And I think in this Elimination Chamber match, it wasn't false count anywhere, because John Cena dragged Cesaro back in the ring. I do know in some of the previous Chamber matches, I'm pretty sure it was false count anywhere. Actually, I think I'm positive it was false count anywhere in some of the previous Elimination Chamber matches, but recently they changed that, it seems. And after Cesaro, the next one to be eliminated, well, after Cesaro, it was down to John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and Randy. The next one to go was John Cena. He locked on the SCF on Randy, and Randy was, trying to get to the ropes or something. Well, actually, even if he gets to the ropes, I don't think it counts inside the Elimination Chamber. And Bray Wyatt all of a sudden appears. Well, actually, you get the Wyatt family sign where the lights turn off, and then they come back on, and the Wyatt family's in the ring. They're inside the chamber. I think Michael Cole on commentary says, how'd they get inside the chamber? And they all attack John Cena. Well, actually, before they attack John Cena, Daniel Bryan actually takes the first hit, or doesn't take the first hit, but delivers the first kick. I think he went for like a drop kick or something, but Luke Harper just hit a big boot on him. And then they attack John Cena. They take him out, and I think Bray Wyatt hits Sister Abigail and John Cena. And then they leave the chamber, and Randy covers Randy covers John Cena and eliminates him. So now it's down to Daniel Bryan and Randy. And at that point, actually, right after Cena got eliminated and, the Wyatt family were, I guess the referees and such were telling them to get out, they were leaving, and Kane also comes out, and at that point I'm like, alright, Kane's going to do something here. He's going to cost Daniel Bryan this match. Or he's going to try to. And he tells them to leave, tells the Wyatt family to leave. And then he goes inside the chamber himself, and it looks like he's, he wants to roll Cena out of the chamber. And you can see from behind Kane, Daniel Bryan's climbing up the top turnbuckle right behind Kane, and he goes for the drop kick on Kane from the top turnbuckle. He hits it. Then he goes back to Randy. And I think at that point, Randy went for the RKO, but Daniel Bryan pushed Randy off, and he hit the running high knee. He hits it on Randy, covers Randy, and the referee counts 1, 2, and then Kane pulls him out of the ring. So then Daniel Bryan goes ahead and kicks Kane in the head, and then Randy turns Daniel Bryan around, hits the RKO, and I'm like, oh, Randy's winning it right here. Randy covers him 1, 2, and no, Daniel Bryan kicks out. So there's still a little bit of hope. Although, let's be realistic here, Randy's probably winning, that's what I was thinking. And then, shortly afterwards, Kane gets back up, and he punches Daniel Bryan, and then Randy follows that up with an RKO, covers him, and this time, alright, he's winning this time. 1, 2, 3, Randy wins and retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And that was it for the Elimination Chamber. Actually, it wasn't necessarily it, because then they showed the crowd, and they showed a bunch of people disappointed, looking sad, and on commentary, Michael Cole was yelling, saying, this is disgusting, how many times is this going to happen to Daniel Bryan, this and that, and they close out the show with, Michael Cole, complaining about that, and Randy holding up the championships on the stage. So, what did I think about the show? Highlights? Well, hey, highlights, man. I just talked about all the highlights inside the Elimination Chamber. There were a bunch of them, and also the entire Shield versus Wyatt family match, man. That was an awesome match. And, Seth Rollins, I don't know if I pointed that out or not, but Seth Rollins Luke Harper actually hit a suicide dive in that match. And Seth Rollins hit a senton, a flipping senton from the inside of the ring to the outside onto the Wyatt family too. As far as what I thought about the overall show, well, there's 3 matches I really liked. The Intercontinental Championship match, Big E versus Swagger, which, by the way, I don't really get why the crowd was booing Big E, but, you know, I do like the Real Americans too, but I was surprised that the crowd was booing Big E when, you know, they were cheering for Big E not too long ago. And also the Shield versus Wyatt family match, that was an awesome match too. That, actually, I'd say that was the match of the night. Not the Chamber. Chamber was good, but that match was better in my opinion. And the Elimination Chamber match. I always look forward to the Elimination Chamber match, and I'm happy that Christian, you know, he did better than I expected. Lasted longer, wasn't the only one. It wasn't the first one to get eliminated in the match. And he eliminated Sheamus, who, you know, Sheamus beat him on SmackDown, so he got his payback, he got his win back. Anyways, as far as a rating for tonight's show, I would give it a 7.5, I'd say, on 10, maybe 8. 7.5 to 8. Actually, you know what? That 6-man tag team match was really epic, so I'm going to give it an 8 on 10. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it, and with that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.